Test 1, 2. 1, 2, 6, 9. How many times? How many times am I going to make that joke? Replay review. Started streaming less than a minute ago. This isn't right. Hello, friends. Hello, fam. Where's Donnie? He's right there. Can't you see him? Hey, Donnie, how's it going, man? Welcome back to the show. Hey, guys, I'm Donnie. I'm 5K behavior score, but it's only because my teammates are bad. It has nothing to do with my behavior. That score, it's the closer to 0 you are, the better behaved. Yeah, what up, James? Are my reviewing viewers? No, I'm actually doing, this is Alchemy Answers. I have yet to change the stream title. Let's see, what episode is this? Alchemy Answers 64. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I need to... I haven't streamed to YouTube in a while, so I need to go to YouTube Studio. I'm glad you guys can't see this. See me embarrassingly butchering this this dashboard here. Where is this live? Okay, details. This is Alchemy Answers, episode 69. My title is going to be, Is Life Just a Metaphor for Dota? Alchemy Answers, episode 69. Let's see. Thumbnail. Let's choose a different thumbnail. Ah, that's perfect. That one. Okay. Perfect. There we are. All right. Let me know what you guys think of the thumbnail and the title. See if this updated. What am I hearing? Is that Dota noises?
Jenkins here, bringing you another Dota 2.
Oh.
Dota 2 video.
I suppose I should turn off the desktop audio, eh? Let's see. Okay, there it is. Perfect. Why is Dota resorting to 2000s playstyles? I'm going to need you to elaborate on that. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. Easily best title. Yeah, you like that? Okay. Well, let me post this stream to the Discord, and then we can go ahead and get started. No Donnie today. Okay, let's how long did it take me to go from 5K to 6K? It took me probably pretty long. I wasn't really trying to get from 5K to 6K. It was more, maybe I was at that point. Maybe I'm underestimating that maybe I'm thinking that I was like more casual at that time. I play Dota very casually. I kind of fell into it. Like I tend to play games into oblivion. And And I think if you're actually trying to go from 5K to 6K, it'll happen a lot quicker than happened for me. Might have taken me like a year or something like that. Because, yeah, like I'm playing Cuphead right now, and I beat all the bosses, and I wanted to keep playing it. So I beat all the bosses on Expert. That took me a while. But now I'm beating them all and trying to do them perfectly on Expert. And that's taking me a while. But I'll probably eventually finish that, and then I don't know what I'm going to do, because that's my like handheld game that I'm playing right now. That's like my chill game away from Dota. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do after that, but I kind of grind games. But it takes me a while. I'm a pretty slow learner. I'm sad to admit that, but I'm a pretty slow learner. I don't know. I'm just kind of dumb. Brave man, you gained 450 MMR in the last 10 days. Congratulations. That's a lot of MMR in 10 days. That is, some people take months, if not half a year to a year to earn that much MMR. That's like up an entire badge, right? So, congratulations. Making supporting boring again. I'm actually enjoying 7.24. I'd like to hear your guys' take on it. If you think that it's bad, I would love to hear your argument. But I'm definitely enjoying 7.24. I feel like it's much more balanced than 7.23. I felt like in 7.23 there's a lot of stuff that just didn't matter because there's too much bullshit in the game going on all at once. The comparison I always use is to like current World of Warcraft. And, nothing against that game, although fuck Blizzard right now, am I right, with the Reforged bullshit. But that game was already kind of convoluted, even when Classic was out, the vanilla. But then they added stuff, more and more, and then all of a sudden everybody has everything and nothing matters. And that's how I felt about Dota in 7.23. And I feel like 7.24 has brought it back to something that's a little more basic, which actually allows us to be competitive within that spectrum. It's like a complete sandbox game versus a game that actually has constraints. When there's no constraints, it's hard to be competitive because where's the puzzle if everything's just fucking chaos? You're enjoying it way more than 7.23. That's good. That's cool. Zachary Adams, my first stream with you guys. Hello, Zach. Donnie also says hello. He's messaging me right now on my flip phone. He just faxed me and let me know that he wants you to know that you're welcome here and that he loves you, and that his 5,000 behavior score is actually just because his teammates and not because of his behavior. He just keeps messaging me this bullshit with the fax machine. It's really weird. Whenever he's on his like hiatus sabbatical, he's always using the fax machine. Do I think the outpost will be played around as an objective even before 10 minutes because of the valuable teleport location? I do think that. I really do think that. There's times where I've seen people, now that they're getting more used to it, fighting around the outposts in the early game, like 2 minutes in, where like the position 4 will go take it, the 5 position will go over and like try to contest them, and then the core is kind of lane solo, because it is really nice to have that to TP to. If you want to like cut the wave, for example, you can have like your tiny support go take that, and then like an axe will die in the lane, and then the axe can TP back, but to the outpost, and then go get in like wave cutting position, or like a position 4 could do a wraparound or something like that. So that's pretty nice. Just got a message. Hawk Illionaire, Donnie away still. Okay. You probably don't want me to read that one. Okay. Why is Donnie being so quiet? I think he's sick. He's just not really feeling up for it. Like, how are you doing, Donnie? Is there anything you want to say to the audience here? Hey guys, I want you to know that I'm actually 7K at Dota, but my teammates suck. All right, Donnie. Well, that's some really good information. Maybe you can make a video on that, upload it on the channel, and see what people think about that. Because yeah, I'm sure your teammates are complete garbage. I mean, aren't all of our teammates really? Even in real life, it's like Dota's really a metaphor for real life. How do I feel about Magnus Core? I feel great about Magnus Core. I think it's a good hero, one of the fastest farming heroes in Dota. Worse than previous, but he was broken, so I think it's good. 7K to 4.8K. Is that what Don? I actually don't know what his MMR is. Your map reading videos was really nice. Can you do more of them? I actually have another plan for my next video. It's going to be like a psychology one, but I really believe in this psychology and playing Dota in your best mental state. I think it's something that people kind of ignore. I think a lot of people are like 1,000 MMR better than their current MMR, but they're just not using their full potential. That's my idea. How do I feel about the new DPC? Well, from what I've heard, it sounds promising. I have heard from the grapevine that what is being said is true from different meetings with Valve. So I'm very glad. I had no intention of playing pro. I'm just kind of chilling in Dota, and I still enjoy the game, and I'm kind of making content and just riding the old wave, coasting a little bit. But definitely with the tier 2 scene getting more money, I am interested. And I think it depends on, I suppose it depends on how much money and what the requirements are. But I definitely am interested because I made a for fun team for the last qualifiers, in the open qualifiers. We ended up winning. And then, obviously it was on a brand new patch, and it was pretty lucky, but we did end up taking a game from tier 1 team, and won a couple of other matches. So it was pretty nice. Kind of gave me the good old butterfly feelings. It's really fun playing competitive. So you listen to orchestral violin music during playing, so I get mentally strong. That's a good idea. I do like that. I was there's a period where I was going to make a video about that, actually. Okay, well, actually, maybe I should get started with this. Welcome to Alchemy Answers, episode 69. This is the edition where we're going to discuss how everything in life is really just about Dota, and you work. You have a family. These are all things that you just do to maintain something that looks like you're actually living in reality. But then you come home and everything is about just playing Dota. It's all really just to facilitate keeping your body alive so that you can play more Dota. And I think there's a lot of that you're going to see in life. What I think of Pudge in this meta, I consider Pudge to be complete dog shit. I think he's one of the worst heroes in Dota. It makes me sad to say that because it's my favorite hero. But it's the way it is, It's the way it is. DP offlane, probably not that bad, actually. Probably not that bad. I'm not opposed to Death Prophet offlane. I'm drinking coffee now. My mom got me into some like tasty coffee. It's like vanilla flavored, something like that. Probably filled with sugar. Okay, let's see. When was the last Alchemy? This was, 28th. So, 28th. Okay, all right. First question, we have Ganksy. He says, do y'all have any advice for breaking bad habits? Specifically, I have this habit of spamming select hero after I cast targeted spells because when I was super noob, I would accidentally click the enemy hero and I would lose control of my hero. This obviously hurts my ability to play micro heroes like Arc Warden and Meepo. Have y'all suffered from that? And what did you do to help correct it? So whenever it comes to breaking or forming habits, from what I've found in Dota, there are two things here. The first thing, you need to just do it. You need to just go in and make a conscious effort to, I'm not going to select my hero when I'm playing these micro heroes. For me, I was actually trying to get used to control groups. I was playing Beastmaster, and this was back in the day when you actually had to micro shit. You had the Hawk, you had the Boar, obviously you have the Necronomicon, which everybody was building as the first item back then. So there's a lot of different things you had to micro, and I did not know how to use control groups. So I just spammed pubs. force myself to do it. And here's where the second part comes in. You have to first just do it slowly, focus on getting the motion right in your hand. And I think this is just scientifically true for like any muscle memory. And of course, when it comes to like dexterity and using your hand on a keyboard or a mouse, it's no different. Get the movement down, get where your fingers are placed on the keyboard down, because you forget that that's actually a thing. So we're also used to using keyboards. And then speed it up. Don't try to do it quickly at first and then better. Like start with doing it absolutely 100% and doing it the best you can, and then do it slowly, and then build to be faster and faster and faster. And then eventually the issue will go away completely. But step number one is to just focus on it, to just go and do it and grind it out, and know that you'll probably lose MMR, lose games in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to be a lot better for you, and you're going to be a better player. You can't have gains without pain. What do they say? No pain, no gain. It's like you go to the gym, you tear your muscles, it fucking hurts, it sucks. You come back, and next time you can lift more. Your muscles look bigger. That's kind of how it is, except with this muscle memory and building your instinct in Dota. Make an offlane tier list for 7.24. I actually am going to do that. That's the next video. That'll be coming out tomorrow. I'm going to record that tonight. I have my tier list. It's all ready, of course, because I've been playing the offlane. And it's going to be coming out tomorrow. Is there any playable SK build right now with all the different indirect nerfs? Yeah, I think so. I think going for like the Veil Travels Blink sort of build is definitely fine. I have seen people go for like tanky build as well, like treads, bracers, things like that. I think SK is actually one of the better offlaners right now. Who's the sexy beast in the photo? Well, this actually isn't a photo of me. This is just a stream, so it's me. But the ugly guy next to me is Donnie. That's my partner in Dota Alchemy and life, actually, sexually. We're in touch with each other. Pixie says, "Hey, does anyone know where I can sign up for coaching from Jenkins? I finally have the time and the money to do it, and I'm back from my losing streak. Any ideas?" Thanks for asking. Coachbin.com/Jenkins. I've been doing quite a lot of coaching lately, and I appreciate everybody being interested in that. It's given me a lot of stuff to think about. It's been awesome talking with people. I gotta say, man, I'm such a socially awkward, like socially anxious, shitty social person, and coaching has been so good for me. Like to just like talk to people. It's hard and it's weird, but it's good. It's good for me. I know it is. Being a fucking degenerate millennial gamer, it's rough out there. Jenkins Premium and Snapchat. So Masley says, recently I've been trying to get better at the game. I've gained about 800 MMR in the last few weeks. Holy shit, dude, that's a lot. And I'm at Divine 2 and 3. That's higher rated than Donnie. Hey man, don't shit talk me. I'm right here. Come on, man, relax. You haven't said anything. You're so lazy. I've been definitely learning a lot and have my own opinions. That's good. I really appreciate opinions from other people. I've invested around 7K hours in the game as well. I've always played with people a lot better than me and against higher MMRs to try to make sure that I learn more. However, lately I've been getting advice from a lot of different people, a lot higher than me, that contradict each other. There's the problem. So I'm at this point where I do one thing one person tells me, and then they tell me it's wrong. Basically, yada yada. People are telling him conflicting stuff. Sorry if this is confusing along. No, it's not confusing. I want to listen and improve, but recently I've been getting different views of the game, and I don't know what to do. When I get into these games of Immortal games, I'm normally good doing what I know is right, or what I think is right, I should say. But then someone tells me that I'm doing something wrong and completely wrong, and I try to change it, and I just end up doing worse or losing. Okay, this is a common problem. What I have to say here is that try to basically, you want to go with your own opinion. And the reason for that is not because I think you're right or because you should think that you're right. It's because if you go with your own opinion and it goes horribly, you can change it. You can improve it in the next game. If you go with somebody else's opinion and it doesn't work, well, it's just their opinion, right? So you're going to go with the next person's opinion in the next game. So it doesn't help you improve at all to go with somebody else's opinion And like you said, you just fuck it up anyway because it's not in your nature to do what they're saying, or you haven't practiced it like they have, and they have this instinct and you don't. I was watching a podcast by Kevin O'Leary. Not sure if you guys have heard of Kevin O'Leary. If you're Canadian, you probably know him. If you're American, you might know him. He's on Shark Tank. He's on Dragon's Den. But he's like millionaire. You know, he's a big businessman worth, I don't know, $500 million, something ridiculous. Maybe less than that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. He's very successful. And somebody called in and they said, hey, man, I'm not cutthroat, but I want to be a business person. Like, I want to be an entrepreneur. Can I be an should I train myself to be more cutthroat? Should I try to be an asshole, basically? And he said, no, don't do that, because you're just you know, like that's not going to change. This is, I feel like this is super anecdotal, but I feel like this is why people thought there was a soul, or people still think there is a soul. Maybe there is a soul, but this is a big reason why that seems like a thing to people. In my theory, it's that, like, when you're a teenager, you kind of develop your personality, what you like, what you dislike, lots of reasons for it. You know, don't do what your parents are doing, you do the opposite, et cetera, et cetera. And then after that, people kind of stay the same. Like, people in their 20s are very similar to people in their 30s, their 40s when it comes to, you know, morality and what they think is right, and if they're a funny person, or, you know, like, these personality traits don't seem to change for whatever reason. Slowly, maybe, but not as quickly as, like, when you're a teenager and the next year you're totally different and out of a phase. But basically, Kevin O'Leary said, pivot on what makes you you. Like, if you're very good at being super nice to people, then in Dota, play really sacrificial heroes. Play heroes that buff other people, that help other people. If you like chaos, if you like being an asshole, pick Bounty Hunter, pick Pudge, pick these heroes that are fucking crazy and get really good at them. Because the thing is with Dota, there are enough heroes that are... I swear to God, every patch, people are like, this is the patch that has the most viable heroes. And I'm just like, dog, people fucking say that every patch. Every patch, that's been the life lesson for people. And it's great, don't get me wrong, but people say it as if it hasn't always been true, because there was like a period there with like the Troll Sniper patch. There are these periods, people seem to remember the negatives. They remember the periods where like only a few heroes were viable. But really, for the majority of the time in Dota, it's like the pro players are making these things viable based on what they're good at. And you can do that too. So basically, going all the way back to it, your opinions matter a lot more, because you should be pivoting on the stuff that you're good at. If somebody else's idea of Dota is to show up to fights always, and they're telling you what to do, and your idea of Dota is to play like Hector from Beast Coast, where you ignore your team and you show up in the late game with 50 minutes, 7 items, and the enemy team has 4 items or something like that, and that's how you win games, just do that. Just do that, but do it well. And every game, improve on that strategy. Okay, that was a long one, but I believe that. I believe that. Okay, Stainship says, I'm curious how teams prepare for tournaments during their boot camps. I was hoping that Jenkins, from his experience on pro teams, can maybe shed a bit of light on what teams do during these boot camps, or what a typical day might look like for them. Also in regards to OG Sumail and Mid 1 joining. Whilst being an amazing mid player, Thompson was always being regarded as being a strong mid laner due to his impact outside the laning stage, while always not having the best laning stage. Is it likely that OG will use the experience of Sumail and Mid 1 to help him improve his weak points in regards to mid laning? Apologies for the essay. Thanks, guys. No problem. And also, fantastic point. I really think that that you're 100% on point with this. That is actually something that happens in a boot camp. You will have people sitting behind and instructing somebody on like basically how to do better. You might just talk with somebody. Like, all of these things really do matter. Sorry, I just noticed that this stream is in 2700 kbs. Does that mean it's not HD? I mean, I suppose it doesn't matter that much because I just have a big picture of Donnie and then myself. But whoops. Anyway, can't stop now. So what happens during a boot camp? From the boot camps that I was involved with, I was involved with the Leviathan Team House, which was like the original way back in the day. We were a tier 2, totally complete shit team. Not very good players. Everybody was like 7K. We were 5K. So that wasn't a super serious boot camp. We tried to be serious, but we kind of fucked around a lot. A lot of that was just kind of camaraderie and doing groceries together and talking about the game a lot. We didn't really do drills or anything like that. But then I did a more serious boot camp with better players when I was, half decent. And this was with, I think all of the players still currently play pro, or have recently played pro. Other than Zizzy, he ended up quitting Dota, but he did go to a TI, so he was very good. It was good to play with him. And what we did there is we would wake up, we would all eat breakfast. We would usually try to scrim like an hour or two after getting up. So I would fucking show up. Like I would wake up and then 15 minutes have to scrim. I'm a total degenerate. But most people, they would wake up, they would maybe like swim in the pool a little bit just to like, wake up, eat breakfast, and just like start scrimming. And then after that, we would take like a break. After that, we would usually like go over the replays, something like that, the replays of the scrims. You don't really, like, people tend to not want to do a ton of scrims in a day. I think the general consensus is there needs to be time for like talking about what happened, and also there's like diminishing returns on just playing over and over and over again. So there's almost always a break to cool down after scrimming, even though a lot of people are like, I want to get into talking about the matches, because people are either pissed that they lost or they're excited that they won. And usually that's an intuition that you want to ignore, because emotion is just the worst thing when it comes to competing in this sense. So that we would look at scrims, we would eat, and then after the scrims, we'd eat like dinner, and then we would usually play pubs all night, or we would do like drills. We would do drills with each other. We would do like party queue, that sort of thing. And most of the time we were just like always talking about Dota. That was like the big thing, was just constantly talking about the game, about our theories. Pubs were really important too, because that's kind of where you generate your ideas from, where you play against something and you feel like, oh, this shit is really overpowered. You play it, you experiment with something, then you can implement it the next day in scrims. So yeah, there's a little bit of luck associated with that, I suppose, with having played against the right hero, so you don't get surprised and stuff in the current patch. But that's about it. Nothing really special. Nothing really special. The most special thing is probably, I think most teams aim to like scrim like 2 hours after they wake up, and I think that's just because you're at your most functional at that point. In fact, like I woke up today, I right before bed, I was doing this boss on Cuphead. I was doing the pirate boss for anybody that plays Cuphead, and I was trying to do it on perfect. I was trying to get S tier with it on expert mode, and fuck, I could not do it before bed. And I woke up and I was taking a dump actually, and I was playing Cuphead, and I one shot it. I one shot that boss. It was so easy because I was awake. And obviously dumping makes you mentally in the zone. So if you play Dota while you dump, that's definitely something you should aim for. Anyway, Pegasus says, "Hey dudes, hope you had a nice weekend." Is Jenkins answering questions from here? Yes. Pegasus says, "Hey dudes, hope you had a nice weekend." Donnie did. He was skiing. He's back now though, as you can see. He's obviously right there. I'm out of ranked roles queues, so I'm just queuing classic ranked. I'm a 2.5k. Position 4 player, but I keep getting mid-Crusader matches. I've tried supporting them, but it can be rough. What are the S tier position 3s in this position 3 heroes in this week's meta that I can carry my Crusader friends? I want a position 3 Treant game, but I don't want to bank on that. Okay, well let me open up the old list here. Damn, dude, I'm not a huge coffee person, but this is all right. It's like vanilla latte. I'm a Starbucks person now. Okay, let's see. So the heroes that I have in S tier, I have Puck is still broken, still a really good offlaner. Mars is insanely broken, and incredibly underrated. There's a very small chance that you'll have a bad Mars game if you're good at the hero. It's broken. Slardar's fantastic. Axe is fantastic. Sand King is good. Batrider is great. The only issue with Batrider, let me tell you, Batrider would literally be the single best offlaner in Dota, period. He has never, ever been this strong. He loves the neutral item slot. He can build travels first, and it's super broken. His spells are insanely strong now. And the only issue is, think about the carries that are in the pool right now. Like, every single carry counters Slark. You have Nakes, you have, or Batrider, goddamn. You have Slark, you have Juggernaut, and Phantom Lancer. That's pretty goddamn rough for Batrider. But still, because he's so good, you can just cut waves, and then it's a good hero. So those are my big heroes that you can carry noobs with, the broken ones, basically. Party says, I have a luxurious problem. I'm not losing, so I get extremely excited and cannot sleep, like ever. Do you know how the fuck to deal with that? 2 to 3 weeks ago, I was 4.6k after a losing streak. Now I am 5.7k with 8 wins in a row. Holy shit, dude. That's fucking awesome. Good job. So, let me tell you. This is science, by the way. But my mom said this to me before I knew that it was science. The U.S. military invested millions of dollars into figuring out how to get soldiers to sleep in really shitty situations. They had to sleep when it's not comfortable. They had to sleep in transit. They had to sleep when it wasn't great to sleep. And here's how they did it. They imagined, and once again, millions of dollars spent on this. They imagined each part of their body falling asleep individually. They would do their neck first, I think. I don't think the order matters that much. But, you can do your neck and your head, where you just let it kind of flop. You just feel the gravity on your neck and your head, and you just let it flop. And then you do your shoulders, and then your arms, and then your legs. And you only move on when you feel like the weight of them, and almost like you can't move them. And then once everything is asleep, you imagine yourself like floating on a cloud or on a bed. Well, obviously you are in a bed, but what I do is I imagine myself floating on a bed in like a river, and the river's flowing, something like that. And I swear to God, for some reason, focusing on that, actually untensing your body and feeling that weightlessness almost, it puts you to sleep so goddamn quickly. It's insane. It's ridiculous. I would highly recommend trying it. And once again, I know it sounds like pseudoscience, but this is literally the U.S. military method. I might be skipping one step, but focus on breathing. Maybe that's the step, but that's it. If you just imagine all your body parts falling asleep, I swear to God, you will fall asleep. I think it's partly because of you're focusing on something that's not whatever's keeping you up, because you're naturally tensing and that untenses you. I don't know exactly what it is, but try it and get back to me. Let me know how it works. You sure it wasn't the drugs? Dude, Google it. This is U.S. military grade psychology. They paid millions of dollars to research this shit. Exactly. Skulovich knows. There's many videos on this. Believe me, man. Somebody told me that what was it? That fucking tea. Oh, that tea everybody says that like herbal tea that everybody says you can fall asleep with. Oh, what is it called? Oh, let me Google it. Sleep tea. Chamomile. The very first thing that I did, and I've ruined it for myself. The very first thing that I did is I Googled if it was legit. I Googled some studies, and these are just double-blind studies that are like, yep, this is bullshit. It doesn't do anything. In fact, sometimes it kept people up. Like, people with insomnia drinking chamomile tea couldn't sleep. So, it's no bueno. But this sleeping thing is not like that. It's real. It is legit. Your guys' streams are so chill. Cool, thank you. I appreciate that. You're chill. Is the dead lane still a thing? I feel like nobody talks about it anymore. Yep, it's just that the dead lane is changing at all points. The map is very fluid right now in Dota. So it is a thing. It's just not the dead lane. It's just like a dead lane. Why was BSJ so averse to Bloodseeker? I'm not sure. It's a broken hero. It's probably because he just doesn't play Bloodseeker, maybe. I don't know. How do you get so many names to introduce myself with? Well, when you are very insecure, self-deprecating is quite easy. So that's where I come up with it from. Is all of the voices in my head never stop insulting me. So I just put the insults on on videos, which is cool that people think it's funny because that's a good way to say fuck you to the voices. That makes me sound like I actually have voices in my head. You get what I'm saying though. It's your brain. Your brain tends to come up with these things. What key are you using for the neutral item slot? Did you have to change anything to make space for it? No, I use the tilde key. I didn't use the tilde before. I still sometimes, I burrow struck on Sand King the other day instead of using the trusty shovel, which is a little bit unfortunate. But like I said, with the keybinds thing and building your instinct, back, for the very first question, you just have to get used to it. You just have to put something and just keep using it, keep using it, keep using it. And for God's sakes, my taunt key is P, and my hand can go all the way across the keyboard now to press the taunt key as well as pressing my spells. So, your body's pretty cool. Us humans can do, you see cats do these like backflips and shit and land on their legs. Like, we have lots of stuff like that as well. Our muscle memory is quite phenomenal. You just need to trust your body, really. The Dark Passenger. I serve the voices. God, you should write a book. That's some nice English there. Hawkillionaire. Do you think the mid laner should be fighting/helping with the start bounty runes? Yes. Or is it more important for him to block his wave? No. I wholeheartedly believe in the former. Yes. I agree. Hawkillionaire, we are on the exact same page, brother. I think that most mid laners, the wave is bouncing back and forth so much that it doesn't really matter. You just need to play around. If the enemy team blocks and they get level 2 first, you just can't go get yourself killed. I mean, it would depend on the matchup, but if you can like force a third bounty rune, it's really good. And at the very least, you're guaranteeing to get 2 if you run at the bounty rune. So yeah, I think it's pretty important. I found that a lot of the mid lane matchups, it doesn't matter if you block or not these days. Do you think being able to teleport into the enemy jungle by taking the outpost is OP? Yes. Too OP? Maybe not, because there is one on both sides. Okay, let's see. S tier supports for 7.24. Well, let me open up Dota again, actually, and we will see what I have there. I don't remember exactly, but let me think off the top of my head. Snapfire, that's probably the best support. Winter Wyvern, Disruptor, Lich, these heroes are still broken. Those are the big ones. Those are the big ones for sure. Let me think. Is there anything else that really stands out as being like busted? No, all the other heroes are just kind of viable, but not insanely broken. Treant's still pretty good. No, those are the big ones. Did I say Wyvern? Winter Wyvern? Did I say that? Oh, Enchantress. Enchantress position 5. That's an insanely strong hero right now. That's one of the best position 5s. People are really complaining about this hero as being total cancer. So, yeah, pick Enchantress. Who's the best mid laner? Let's see. Best mid laner. Void Spirit's pretty good. Ember's still pretty good. OD's decent. Is there anything I'm forgetting that's like a really broken mid laner? The mid laner is pretty versatile these days. I see people pick Underlord mid, Huskar, Broodmother. Lots of viable heroes. Meepo, decent. I think Venge is best in a position 5. I don't see why you need a Venge to be a pos 4. I feel like you can do everything you want to do on Venge as a pos 5. Jenkins, would you consider a 1v1's mid to help us get better? Would you consider it like a... Okay, wait a minute. I missed a question. I'll get back to it. 1v1's mid to help us get better. Would you consider it like a series? I'm a mid laner, would love playing against people a lot higher rated to see what they do and how they play it. Highest player played mid. Was wondering if you would consider doing some sort of 1v1 mid and then giving your advice on what they should have done. That would be a decent video for sure, but I really suck at 1v1s. I also don't really enjoy playing them. Like I get super anxious when it comes to 1v1s. I kind of enjoy playing the whole game I've always been so bad at 1v1s. Like I can't take them seriously. It's a serious problem. Really big problem. Drills as well. I can't take seriously, which is not good. Hawkillionaire said, lately the meta has moved from early bracers, nulls, wraith bands into headdress, buckler, Bassi. Can you give a detailed explanation showing your reasoning factors behind deciding the best one? So headdress, if you're going to build into something that uses a headdress eventually. Bassi, if you need the mana regen. Buckler is just the new old Bassi, basically. Buckler is good for pushing the wave. Buckler also builds into a lot of fantastic items, so it really depends on what you're building into. They're all very efficient. With Bassi, you can spam more. With Buckler, you take less damage. With headdress, you take less damage. It really just depends on exactly what you want, but they all do roughly the same thing, really. So I love Buckler plus Bassi because it builds into a Vlad's. I like going for both of those items. And then headdress, you can go all three if you are going like Vlad's Pipe, something along those lines. Also, another question. Ever since I started playing, I've been using WASD for camera, 1, 2, 3, 4 for spells, and ZX, CB, NV for items. Is it really bad that I'm doing this, and is it limiting me? I personally feel like it isn't, and it's super comfortable for me. Hey, man, you know what? Whatever's comfortable, do it. If you find yourself at a cap eventually, maybe you can change something. I have heard other people argue that they think using WASD for camera is bad because it's using your fingers for camera movement when you could be using your right hand, instead. But with that being said, actually, I think camera grip would probably be the best camera option because then you don't have to edge pan. You can keep your mouse wherever it was on the screen. Technically speaking, that would be the best, but that's hard to do. So yeah, whatever's comfortable for you. I don't know. Don't worry about it. As long as you're winning and you have other stuff to improve upon, then go for it. Is Dota a pants optional activity like Skype interviews? Yes. Yes, I never wear pants when playing Dota. I'm actually lucky I'm wearing pants right now. The only reason I am is because I just came in from going to Subway. So the higher you climb, how much more does your draft matter? A lot. I would say like 50% of a game is the draft. Like you can very easily lose a game by just picking dog shit heroes. Like if you have, let's say, anti-mage versus a meepo on the enemy team and you have no meepo counter, it's over. That's actually unwinnable. As long as the meepo doesn't have a heart attack and die halfway through the game, there's no way to win that. And that's just like you shouldn't have picked anti-mage there where they still have a meepo potential left to pick. That's why that hero is like kind of weak, is because there are huge counter matchups. Okay, so that's it. That's actually it for questions. So we will read chat now. Are you okay with that, Donnie? Okay. That's good. That's good, Donnie. What do you guys think of that? I can't make it bigger. The image is too big. Elevated's goatee. Oh my god. Keep telling him to shave it in the comments, by the way. He really likes that. Alright. What's up, guys? Let's chat. Let's chat. How many of y'all are there? Let's see. I wish the chat pop-out showed that, but 161. Damn, dog. Where y'all from? What do I think of Luna in the current meta? I feel like she needs way too many levels in all of her skills. That's my problem with her. If anything, she's viable as like a support. Is it possible to get Immortal with non-popular heroes like Monkey King, Quap, Invoker on mid? Yeah, if you're really good at them. But you're going to lose a lot of games because there are better picks sometimes. So it can take you a while. I would say the most important thing is having a wide spectrum of heroes that you can play that are from different
do different jobs. If all of your heroes do the same job and they're all bad, then you just lose. I should analyze pro games. I do sometimes. What do you think is holding Donnie back from gaining a lot more MMR? Do I think MMR means a lot? Do I think that MMR means a lot? I mean, I think that MMR is a reflection of your skill in Dota, if that's what you mean. I think anybody that says MMR doesn't matter is usually just salty because their MMR is low and they have some sort of problem that's holding them back. If you play enough games, if you're playing enough games, the sample size is large enough, then MMR does mean something. And it might mean that you just suck at pubbing, but that's that's the game. And if you want to say that you'd own in pro matches, well, that's something that's really hard to test, and probably not true because pro matches are a lot harder to win than pubs, and very, very different from pubs. Like, a lot of people think they understand pro matches, but it's very different to have a total global view of things and see everything that's happening than to be in the game, experiencing the emotions, having, the instinct to like move out of the way when you know somebody's coming, not based on seeing them, but based on knowing that if you were playing that hero, that you'd be doing that. Things like that, you can't really, if you're watching the game, it's really easy to say all of that shit, which is why there's plenty of great analysts that are like lower rated players, because it's a different thing. It's really a different thing. What's the most useless ability / passive? Let's see. That's a good question. Let me see. I have to actually look at heroes now to answer that question. That's a super solid question. Most useless ability. Omni Knight's degen aura is pretty useless outside of the laning stage, but it's still pretty damn good. Let's see, garbage heroes. Let's see, what are the garbage heroes? Shackle Shot's pretty good, even though that hero's garbage. Chen Penitence is probably underrated. 120 attack speed is quite good. What are your heroes that just completely ignore like a certain ability? Lycan's new Howl, I think a lot of people are considering that to be pretty garbage, but maybe that's underrated. Lion's Mana Drain is pretty bad. Pretty bad. Let's see, what else am I missing? There's not that many bad skills in Dota, to be honest. Medusa's Mystic Snake is kind of garbage. That might be it. That might be the most garbage thing. The fact that it doesn't steal mana anymore. Yeah, we'll say Medusa's Mana Snake. How do you maintain consistency? That's hard. That's not easy. But playing when you actually want to play, playing when you're awake, playing when you're not tilted, playing heroes that you enjoy playing, basically. Lich Stun pull was the worst. It might have been the worst, but it's definitely not the worst now. It's very broken. Is physical damage Ember viable again because the Battle Fury changes? That build is not good since they changed the mechanics of Sleight of Fist / Cleave. Yeah, I would say it's just not that fantastic of a build. I feel like you scale just as well into the late game with the magic damage build, except you do way more damage in the early game. Play when you're full. Yes. How do you control the tilt? You just stop playing until the tilt goes away, and it will go away, unless you're just a mad person all the time, which in that case, I mean, what can you do? Therapy? The hardest part about playing Dota is the emotional part. Yeah, I agree. I think past a certain point, most people are quite good at Dota, and then really it's a lot of psychology. I've been playing Alpic normal mode for a long time now. I want to start getting into ranked games. Is there a resource that I could use to learn some of the more ambiguous concepts? Well, of course, Dota Alchemy. We have a lot of videos on that sort of stuff. Game Leap is great. Purge, fantastic. Henry, give him a gander. D2 Bowie. There's a lot of stuff that you can check out. It's just about finding the right video that clicks with you. Watching streams is pretty good as well. Pretty good. Any pseudo offlane picks? What do you mean by that? Like death profits and shit? What is Elevated's MMR? I think he's like 4.8k. Can I zoom in any more on Donnie's chin? Yeah, I can definitely do that for you. Let me see. There he is. Oh. Oh my god, he's just become the background. Yep, sounds good. This looks good, guys. Could I do a Sand King guide, video guide? Yes. Yes, I could. How can a player go pro? How to get picked up by a team? Well, tier 1, that's a difficult one. That takes years and years and years of being a good pub star. But basically, you own in pubs, you join some open qualifier stacks, you do okay, you join a better open qualifier stack, you do okay, etc., etc. You do that until you're on a good team. I always choke against certain players in local tournaments. What do you do when you play against maybe Arteezy in a tournament? How do you mentally prepare? Not giving a fuck is a good way to just play your best. And then if you lose, well, you didn't give a fuck. If you win, well, it's probably because you didn't give a fuck. Do I think the Dota community has gotten better as a whole? That's a good question. Maybe with the matchmaking patch. Maybe, because I think it was pretty bad before. And people have gotten better. But still a lot of smurfs, still a lot of griefers. It's, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Dota 2 community is pretty not great. I think there's probably a vocal minority, but it's a very, very vocal one. How much do you need to pay for a jar of my toenail clippings? Well, I usually eat them, so it's going to be expensive. Kevin McGovern, will Phoenix ever get changes? It's been a while since Sunray wasn't pure damage. Maybe. Hero's kind of dog, so probably. Who is on my open qualifier stack? I don't know, David. Can you give me an invite to the closed qualifiers? I don't want to play in the opens. My team, We Dislike Bears, has DPC points. Okay? I'm a DPC player. You know what DP stands for? Get your fucking head out of the gutter. It's Dota points. That's what it is, I think. Oh no, Dota penetration? I don't remember what it is. But I basically am a professional player, and I should get invited directly to the qualifiers. And I don't know why the fuck a player of my caliber, by the way, I have 2 DPC points. That makes me a pretty fucking big deal, has to go through the opens. I'm a 2 DPC player. You know? That's infinity more than a lot of people. Oh, I don't want to hear that Arteezy has 10,000 of them. 10,000. What's the difference? There's no difference between 2 and 10,000. It doesn't matter. I'm basically an EG player. Will I get added to OG as a content creator? Yeah, well, they wanted to have me, but Gork came in at a lower number. They just pay him in... They give him like action figures and stuff, like little Legos and stuff. He builds, Millennium Falcons and things like that. And it's like, man, do you really take Legos in payment? I wanted Roblox, but they wouldn't give them to me. It's unfortunate. Didn't need to yell at me, David. Let me tell you, man. I've carried you for the last fucking time. Okay. Next event, and you're on my team, we're done. We're completely done. Because every time, it's just nonsense and disrespect. And you're supposed to be my teammate. Where's Billy? Billy's watching TV with my girlfriend. All right, David, don't tell Moxie. Seriously, don't tell Moxie. Just relax, man. You don't need to go that far. Just relax. Well, what did I just click on? We're talking about just the metaphysical connections that you can form if you kind of sexually connect with somebody through playing a video game. Like for me, it's a very sensual experience to like hook somebody with Pudge, for example. And I find that that's a deeper connection than I can really find in real life. What is Dota? That's really funny that don't know what Dota is. I hope you're not joking. Okay. Well, that's it. Y'all answer one more question. Jenkins, what is your biggest goal as a Dota player right now? I want to get 8K MMR. That's what I want to do. I was very close. I was 7.8K, and then I tanked hard, really hard, like rock hard, solid. And yeah, I want to get to that 8K number. I've always wanted that 8K number. I never thought I could get it, but I was so close. I was so close. Do I believe Dota will ever die due to players quitting? I hope that TrueSight brought people back. I hope that they're going to bring more people in with future changes, new player experience, stuff like that. When do you think you'll quit the game completely? Whenever I stop enjoying it. I always have a game. I haven't found anything to replace Dota yet, so I currently really enjoy it. All right, that's it. See you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.